I want to speak about the work Madena. Madena is, for me, it's an ongoing work. It's a reference for a lot of projects. First of all, it was presented in 2007. I started the work in 2006 by a series of field recordings and investigations in the city of Cairo between me and my friend Ahmed Bassiouni. And we divided the map of Cairo, did field recordings, investigations in the city of Cairo. Cairo, of course, is a huge reference and iconic city when it comes to acoustics. So what we wanted to do is to create a form of an acoustic panorama. I mean, back in the days, 2006, 2007, it was kind of a new direction we wanted to engage with at the beginning of this internet revolution, let's say, where young artists and designers were kind of introduced to a worldwide movement about new media. So we both, again, did this field recordings and field recording investigations in the city of Cairo. And based on this research that was manifested as a form of an installation in the beginning in March 2007, and the work was basically an interactive acoustic panorama while people are invited to engage with these sounds and re-listen to the city. The work received the grand prize of Egyptian Creativity Festival 2007. I'm very happy and proud to represent this work and to get invited to Japan and to create another form of media design based on live performance, or reinstalling or designing the sequence of the work Madena. In this context, it's a staged scenario where I can only perform on a theatrical context. So the whole thing was redesigned not to work as an immersive installation coming from around 50 to 60 speakers, but to have, rather than that, to have like 60 speakers merged into 4 channels only, 2 front speakers and 2 rear speakers in the stage in Dega Halls Inn. In this time, the work was divided into 3 main movements. The first movement is talking about listening to a random moment in a working day in the beating heart of Cairo, near downtown, where you can capture different sounds and imagine how the power of surviving and the power of humankind through sound. You can hear all these sailors and people trying to make an effort using their own voices to make daily life. You know, it's like you falling down from the sky, getting close to downtown Cairo, hitting this wave of mashed up sounds, listening to everything amplificated in the same time, and then your ear focus is getting closer to each sound. Of course, it's randomness, but also intentional randomness. It's different from when you hear it without a composition. So I would say it's a composition. First of all, we did a kind of analysis behind these sounds, and we tried to rearrange it and master it and create it in an intentional direction, which is different from the reality, but it's in the same time very much related to reality, and it really calls your previous experience about this area that represents the city of Cairo, the capital of noise in the world. Second movement of the work is related to a still shot of Said Mekkawi portrait, and Said Mekkawi is one of the most famous blind Egyptian musicians and Arab musicians. He's not capable of seeing anything, but he is a king of listening, and I used him as an icon. It's an archived video from the Egyptian television, but this close-up of his portrait, I think for me it was a meaningful icon. Someone who really loves falling in love with Egypt and falling in love with Arab heritage, and how the density of him listening to this city as if I'm trying to engage inside his brain and see melodically how would he hear the city without even seeing it, and at the same time falling in love with it. But I did not recall any of his compositions, because it's not about him as a musician, but it's about his icon as someone who would listen more than anybody else from a sensitive ear perspective. Back again to Ataba Square, where you can see the day ending. So there is like a build-up of actions, and people are getting crazy with all these details, mixed with music recorded from the street sometimes, and sometimes composed by my own self, using MS-20 Korg MS-20 analog keyboard. And then the third movement, it brings you to the end of the day where it's time to leave the place, and you can hear like a kind of orchestra of call for prayers. And while call for prayers are happening, the birds are merging into human voices, and it's just a beginning of a new day. The video in the work is always, or most of the time, one still long shot, and this is of course intentional. It's different from what happened in Madena as installation form. Give you a form of long-term meditation into the details of the imagery. You can see thousands or hundreds of people in one small square, and every relationship happening is a potential for attention. So you can look forever to this image and hear the sound, but the sound and the video are not connected. So it's, as I said, like several soundtracks, individual like 45 tracks, live mix. You know, it's random every time. I did it 3 times, but it's different every time. It's different. The mix is not the same, and the relationship between the video and the sound is always random, except for the first part of Said Mekkawi portrait. Again, I'm very happy to represent this work. It's not meant to make you like dance or DJ. It's a very specific acoustic research related to humankind and related to how sound itself can carry a lot of meanings beneath its own details. Thank you so much again.